Hello and welcome to the show. Now, I am quite the fan of the super saloons. Truth be told, I love these kind of vehicles because, well, you get supercar level performance with the engine note to go with it in a vehicle that is actually kind of sensible, actually kind of useful. Often quite a surprise as well. Not everybody expects a saloon car to be able to move like these things do, which is fantastic fun, and thankfully there are plenty to choose from. Naturally, we were going to have to go and do a test to find out what is the best of the super saloons. Of course, though, this being a FailRace Showdown, we're going to throw in a few oddballs along the way. You see, yes, these big four-door cars are very practical, really, for what they are. However, if you were looking at these, there would be some alternative things, like the Ferrari FF, things like the Bentley Continental as well. Yes, they are more GT cars, but they are also, you know, the bigger, more comfy, can still just about sit four people. I don't know how comfy is the back of an FF, but you can just about fit four people in those. So we will include a couple of them for a comparison's sake. We also have an SUV, because the sad fact of the matter is that, as much as I dislike them, that is now becoming quite the alternative. You know, people are more likely to go and buy a Macan Turbo or a Lamborghini Urus, perhaps, over a saloon car. So a Lamborghini Urus is going to take part as well to see how it does compare to the more traditional of the super saloons. And I hope it gets absolutely thrashed. However, we're going to start off this one with some racing with the selection of vehicles. So, for our first race with, well, the Alfa Romeo with the super saloons, we've come to the Hollywood Park circuit. Oh, when I have a nice spot on the grid. Of course, I am rear-wheel drive in the Giulia, which means we are going to have a bit of a tougher time off the line. Hell, the other rear-wheel drive cars are actually much further back in the pack. The CTSV, the Charger, are all the way down in 8th and 11th, so we are going to get a little bit mugged off the line here. Nothing I can do about it. Now, this track is not the sort of the worst for being the rear-wheel drive car in the field, shall we say. Yeah, we're going to lose out off the line. I don't know how many places we're going to drop. Probably 3 or 4, if you like, while the all-wheel drive cars shoot past, but because there's no real low-speed acceleration zones here, once we are up to speed, it shouldn't be too terrible for us. At least that is the hope. I've fallen a little further back than I would have liked. However, we are going to be lighter than a lot of the big all-wheel drive machines. I mean, we're already catching back up here in the Giulia. We're going to go past the Infinity, move ourselves back to third. So leading the way, we have Rs6 is battling with the M5. I mean, if the Giulia can't win, we want the Rs6 to win. Naturally, I'm not biased in any way, shape or form. There's a Mercedes having a look around as well, not quite going to be close enough. Here comes that Giulia, maybe almost to the inside, almost. There's a big old squabble going on further back in this one. Can we have a look? Can we have a serious look past? I'm going to be curious to see who is quicker. We're pretty good through these corners, actually. We get to the inside of the Rs6. There's not quite going to be space. The BMW runs wide, does get back onto the track, though. Oh, Mercedes is right there behind us. I think that is the E63, is it? Going on by these, but yes, it's the good-looking one, not the GT4-door that is about the only way you can possibly describe that car. The E63 has got a fantastic turn of pace. I think I've got to get past that Rs6. I think we had the desync going on there. I don't think Liam realised I was alongside. So we talk about this. We'll talk about it plenty of times in. We'll return the favour through turn one. Yeah, we do talk about this a fair bit. Sometimes cars do not sync properly in multiplayer. It's only out by a little bit, but that's enough when you're racing at 180 miles an hour to be a problem, shall we say. Oh, that was one gear down too many. Can we catch and put a move on the M5? You see, I don't think we're not the quickest top end in the Giulia. I think it's about 5. I can't actually remember the power. It's not the most powerful car here, not by a long shot. I say not by a long shot. The Hellcat is the most powerful car here, but that's a little bit silly. Oh, a little bit of lag from the Beamer. Can we? Where we're going to get, I think where we're going to get past done is going to be on the exit of turn 1. I think that's where we're going to see the best chances for the Giulia, because I think we are one of the better handling vehicles here. We're lighter than a considerable number of the cars. The Giulia does drive very, very well indeed. So we're not going to match, we're not going to breeze past the M5 in a straight line. We're actually pretty evenly matched here. We've got to watch out for that E63. I think if we can get in clean air, I'm not too fussed. about the Mercedes. I think if we can get in clean out with the corners, yeah, we can just turn. Oh, Clark missed it. I think the M5 missed a checkpoint. I think we were going to pass it anyway. That's unfortunate for the BMW in that one. That's going to get dropped down. Well, now we have that clean air. Can the E63... E63 wasn't necessarily the one that I thought was going to be challenging us too much. The Cadillac's actually doing really well. I just noticed the Cadillac's up in 4th. Yes, that's what we like to see. Let's get the CTSV up the leaderboard. Let's see the CTSV do well. The Giulia... I mean, if we could have 2 rear-wheel drive cars on the podium, I'd be quite happy. The Urus, kind of one of the oddballs in this one, is sat in a 7th place, which is not doing too... This is not really an Urus circuit, shall we say. Definitely not. We are going to have a big lift and coast our way through that corner. That is all good. And now we stick our foot down. I think we are pulling away. I'm pleased. I say a little bit biased. I love the Giulia. I love the Quadrifoglio. I think it's a fantastic car. Attempt at the favourite colour, the Montreal green, very, very difficult to replicate on Forza. I tried, failed, downloaded a paint that's pretty good. I don't know how on earth you'd ever replicate it. It's a fantastic colour. If you haven't seen one before, Google a Montreal green Quadrifoglio. It is absolutely gorgeous. It would be the colour I would have the car in, even over orange. I know, madness and all that, but it's fantastic. We're going to wander a little bit wide through there. It's fine though. Yeah, the E63 is doing a pretty good job of keeping up. The Rs6 in 3rd, as I said, not biased at all, but good to see the Rs6 doing well. It's a big, heavy car in this field. Okay, not as much as the Urus, but it's probably the 2nd heaviest behind the Urus. Maybe the Hellcat. That's not exactly lightweight. That's down in 11th. That's having a tough time. It's always like the Hellcat is the least sophisticated car here, probably by a very, very long way. We have got one more lap to go, and it's actually quite spread out here up at the front. We've got the Cadillac is into 3rd place. Something went up for the Rs6. The Rs6 has had a bad time, and that has dropped back. I think it's a Panamera now in 5th behind the GT4 door. And you can't look at that car without making that sound. It is completely involuntary, unfortunately. Yeah, one more lap around. The rear-wheel drive, the traction of this car has been pretty good. There's been a couple of times where I've really slid the Giulia around. We'll leave it in 3rd gear out of here, and we are absolutely fine with the Alpha. Ooh, nope. Let's not do anything stupid. This lap has not been fine. That's been on me. That's not been on the car. That's not the car's fault. Liam is caught up a little bit this lap around. Let's not piss this one away. Oh, and now I'm thinking about it, I'm taking silly lines as well. Come on. Let's get things right with this. The E63 is kind of close. It is a little quicker than me down the straights, but I don't think it's that much quicker than me to be able to catch. Not down here. It's a fast circuit, this, top end is important. It was a bad final lap for me. We should have had a more comfortable margin to that Mercedes, but over the rest of the field, this has been a very good performance for the Alfa Romeo, and not a bad showing for the rear-wheel drive cars. If the Cadillac comes across the line in 3rd place, that would be nice to see. Indeed. Do we get fastest lap? We do with the Giulia, not by very much. We're close between the Alfa and the Mercedes. Cadillac takes 3rd ahead of the Panamera. That beats out the Mercedes GT4. The Continental takes 6th ahead of the Urus. The Rs6 had a little bit of a bad time. I don't know whether it may have made a little mistake somewhere. Ahead of the Infiniti. Ferrari FF, Dodge Charger. We saw the M5 was battling away at the front until a missed checkpoint dropped it further down the field. Well, after a rather impressive performance for the Alfa Romeo in that first race, we are heading to the Asmore circuit next. Where am I starting on the grid? Ooh, okay. Front-wheel drives? Well, rear-wheel drives on 1st and 2nd position. We will not be staying there. I wonder how far back we are going to fall. I reckon we're probably going to be about 6th or 7th. Again, this is... Asmore's an interesting circuit, this one. Some longer straights, some fast corners to challenge the vehicles. We are going to spin the wheels off the line a little bit. There goes the Infiniti. Oh, there goes the BMW again. And this is not such a long run to the first corner for us. Panamera is, well, kind of inside a little bit at the moment as we play with the ghostly mode. Look out for the E63. I'm a little bit concerned about that one again. That was quick. At Holyrood, we are going to be... Oh, we're going bit of a funky line. I don't know where the Ghost Mode is going to end. The Infinity gets a bucket load of understeer through all of that. Oh, some lag for the BMW has stacked everybody up, and I'm on a horrible, horrible line with. That's not a place you ever want to be 3 wide. Not for me, stuck down on the inside. That's not great. That's going to give me some work to do, because I don't think we're all that quick down the straight. We're not slow, but we're by no means the fastest car here down the straight. There goes the Bentley to the inside. I don't reckon the Bentley's going to be able to hold it, though, through here. No, it does not. We are along. We are around the outside. There's no gap on the inside for us to have a dive. Panamera's trying to get underneath everybody and might actually make that one work. This is all helping the BMW. Oh, here comes that Bentley going for a curious line on the outside. It worked. We all got stacked up. I've got to get clear of this traffic. The Giulia is fast. Once again here, I can feel this is a quick car. But we've got to get out of the boatly traffic here. We are a sports car in a field of boats almost. Not quite, that's a little bit disingenuous, of course, but yeah, the Giulia does drive very, very well. My best bet may be on this uphill section, especially if they're fighting one another. Oh, like so. We have just got the grip to do that. We can just dive underneath. Now, we want the Merc and the Cadillac having a fight. We know they're both probably a little quicker than me down the straight, but if they're fighting one another, we can get that momentum onto the straight and kind of minimise the loss we have at the other end. The BMW is actually checking out a little bit at the front, as I said, slightly unopposed for now. Whether, if I get clear, whether the E63 gets clear, we've got so much more grip than these two ahead of us. Could we really make this? That's a brave, brave move around the outside. If we try and make that stick, we might cut back underneath, though, and get the Cadillac on the run towards the first corner. Not quite going to be able to make that. Here comes the Bentley. I'm going to move across. I do not want to be fighting with the Bentley any more than I absolutely have to here. The big old barge is not what I want to be racing. It's got some good top end. I think that's what's making the difference around here. I don't know how much power the Supersport's got. Probably a lot. Let's be honest here. It's calmed down a little bit. It's calmed down a smidge. Can we do anything through here? The thing is, the Cadillac's just going to defend, which is fair enough. It has a right to do that. We try. I mean, the outside there is such a difficult line to pull off. You can see how much we pull away from the Bentley. The Mercedes is going off after the BMW. We get slaughtered a little bit down the straights. Yeah, my lack of top end is just hurting. Another 50, 60 horsepower in this. It'd be bloody unstoppable. As it is, I mean, anything with a corner, it is absolutely flying around. I mean, we're to the outside now of the Caddy. We might actually make this work. Just all the way around the outside of the hairpin. If we can get off the hairpin well enough. Almost get off the hairpin well enough. Indeed we do. Here comes that Bentley. Now the Bentley's going to distract, hopefully, the Caddy for a little while. We're going to go around, clonk the wall a little. I think it's too little too late for us to chase down the M5 or the Merc. We may just lack a little top speed for the ultimate fastest. Be curious to see how the fastest laps pan out. Certainly that M5 is about to get a whole load of pressure on the final lap. If they fight one another, is there a chance? We're only a couple of seconds back, and probably less of a chance now of pinging that wall. That's not kind of where I wanted to put the car particularly. It's not a good run onto back straight, although there's some sliding from the Bentley. In fact, now the Mercedes is alongside. Mercedes is going to maybe take that lead away even before the end of this lap. The E63 has got some serious pace about it. Yeah, we got stuck in the fights for too long with the Giulia. We've got one lap in clean air coming up, where hopefully we are going to be able to do something. Well, perhaps unsurprisingly, really, the Urus is not enjoying life around this particular circuit. Interestingly, the Eau Rouge is also not having a fun time around this one. Here is our final lap. What can we do in perfectly clean air? There is no real threat of an overtake from behind. We are certainly not close enough to be trying to get overtakes up ahead. So we are going to see what the Giulia can do. There looks like there's a little mistake from the E63 over there. Looked like it ran very wide. We know the BMW's got a little bit of connection issues going on. That was absolutely spot on. That's what we needed from the Alfa Romeo, and the pair up ahead are having a big old fight. We've dropped the Bentley through there. If I get a clean lap through there, the Alfa's untouchable. Basically, the BMW's fought itself back into contention here. It's to the inside of that E63, and it is going to retake the lead of the race. Although now comes that Mercedes once more. We needed another lap because we were right there We are right here now in this battle. It's a drag race to the finish line. BMW versus Mercedes. The Merc's going to get it. The BMW slid. The BMW's not going to be able to do it. The M5's going to have to settle for second place. We will cross the line in third. We get the Alpha onto the podium. Fastest lap will go the way of the Giulia as well. Yes, it does. Only vehicle into the 102s around here. The Giulia 102.9. 104s for the likes of the Bentley and the Mercedes GT4. Another lap, it may have been different, although another lap we probably have fought the BMW more and the Mercedes might have got away, but the Merc was quick, just not as fast as the Alpha. So far, the Giulia has been rather dominating on the circuits. I am more concerned. I'm much more concerned about the drag race here. Not only are we against a lot of all-wheel drive cars, they're going to have much better launch than I have some of the least power here, the likes of the Hellcat, the likes of the Cadillac, probably going to be a little bit quicker than us. We got quite light. That's the only thing I have going for the Alfa Romeo as we launch underway and we say goodbye to most of the field. Bloody hell. Everything's gone. Everything's gone in the distance. We are leading the... No, we're not leading the rear-wheel drive cars. We're definitely not winning the rear-wheel drive car battle, are we? Nope. The Cadillac's gone. The Hellcat is pulling out. The Hellcat's going to pull its way up towards the field. It's going to run out of straights to really do too much about. We are a long way back in the Alfa Romeo. A kind of a little bit as expected, really, with the Giulia. Who actually won it? It would be the E63 took it over the Continental and the FF, followed by the M5 and the GT4. The Rs6 was down in 7th place. I kind of expected that one. I'll be honest with you. I thought it might be closer. There, we got murdered. We got absolutely murdered down the straight. Now, the final test is always a good one, this. This is the 0 to 100 to Naught test. So not only are we testing traction, acceleration, also braking. Now, I know my car isn't very quick. We saw from the drag race. My hope is the brakes are good and it's quite light. So if we get all the way up towards 100 miles an hour here, we will jump on the brakes, get the Alpha stopped as quickly as we can. It comes to a halt. Not terrible performance from the Giulia. Now, each vehicle here is going to be taking it in turns to try and, well, do this run. It is raining slightly. This is Forza. The rain physics don't actually make very much difference whatsoever to anything. The Bentley would go next, and that comes grinding to a halt. I mean, it does beat me. That's, I imagine, mostly down to its launch. It is a very, very heavy car, is that Continental. So we've probably got better brakes than it, but the launch is so good. The FF is up next, and the Ferrari has a very, very good run. Okay, that's going to be the one to beat. Please don't all be too far back so I can't actually see. That's a legitimate concern if my car isn't particularly good. What we've got next, the Infinity, is good. Is it still not on the brakes yet? Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're not the worst. The Alfa Romeo is not last. Okay, I can live with that. I say I can live with that. We have beaten one of the all-wheel drive cars. The Eau Rouge has a lot of PI. It is apparently struggling a little bit in this particular one. What next? BMW, I think. This is the M5 that so far has been pretty consistently good, and that will slot in between the Bentley and the Ferrari. I mean, we're not that far. Considering how much quicker they were down the straight than we were, how much better they were off the line. It shows how good the brakes are on the Giulia. The Cadillac should be an interesting one here. It's another rear-wheel drive. It's close. Cadillac beats the Alfa Romeo. Obviously, it's got enough acceleration and still some pretty decent brakes on that thing. I'm impressed with the performance of that Cadillac, I have to say. It is certainly not doing too badly. Here comes the Urus. That's... we have been beaten by the SUV in this one. Doesn't the Urus have some of the biggest brakes of a production car, if I remember correctly? Either way, it does beat us. That all-wheel drive helps. Here comes the Audi Rs6 this time. Oh, that's not quite the performance I expected from the big Audi. It is quite a heavy car. I was expecting it to have been stopped a little bit sooner, being all-wheel drive and everything. Not the greatest run for that. Up next, we've got the Panamera. That's going to come shooting past, and that's on the brakes. That's also not getting stopped all that quickly. The Porsche is... We've beaten a few all-wheel drive cars in this. What have we got running down the course next? I'm not actually quite sure. Oh, it is going to be the GT4 door. That's going to get stopped. That's an impressive run. That is a very, very impressive run for the Mercedes. What the E63 now is heading down here. Should be close between the two Mercs. They're fairly similar cars here. The E63 is on the brakes. Actually shoots a little bit further. I don't know who's got it out of the FF and that GT4 door. We'll have to have a look at a little flyby. The last car we're waiting for, the Hellcat. This is probably not going to be its favourite of the rounds, if I'm perfectly honest with you. It's going shooting past. It's on the brakes. Actually clipped the wall a little bit. Doesn't matter. It slotted its way further down the straight than anybody else. So, we have the overview camera. It's a little bit difficult to film this on the runway strip, but or the drag strip because of the walls around here, but we'll still get a pretty good idea. The Hellcat would go the furthest. Not the craziest spread of vehicles we've ever seen in this, which is always nice. The Hellcat, though, would go the furthest before getting stopped. The Eau Rouge... I like the Infiniti as a nice car, but has been struggling a bit in this so far. The Rs6 and Panamera, both perhaps a little too heavy, struggle to get stopped. Then we have the Alfa Romeo, the Giulia. We have a very, very close... This is very difficult to see with the way the camera is between the Cadillac and the Bentley. It's a very, very fiddly one to see, to get the camera lined up. With the Bentley a little bit ahead. It's not by very much, though, between those two vehicles. A good showing from the Cadillac, best of the rear-wheel drive cars in this. You know, mixing it up there in the mid-pack for what is it. You know, the all-wheel drive does have a nice little advantage here. We then have BMW, the M5 would get beaten by the Urus, that Lamborghini, despite being one of the heavier vehicles here, one of the biggest vehicles here. Did do very well. The E63 would come third. The GT four-door in the end would get a second place. The Ferrari FF would take a victory in this one. Good run from the Ferrari. Good runs from both of the Mercedes, actually. They both got stopped very, very quickly indeed. So, there we have it. It's a pretty damn close spread, though. We've seen much, much wider gaps. The problems the Hellcat had in trying to get stopped. So, conclusion times from all of this. Truth be told, the best overall Super Saloon from this test is the Mercedes. The E63 was the best performing over every aspect. Around the circuits, it was very, very competitive. It was only beaten by one car. It won on the drag strip. It was very, very competitive on the 0 to 100 to 0. Overall, it's probably the best car here. However, the one that I would want is the one that I was driving, the Alfa Romeo. The Giulia, it was the best driving car by a mile. In terms of around a circuit, that thing was untouchable. Okay, the E63 could give it some trouble. The E63 could keep up a little bit. At a faster circuit, the faster, or the more straights, the faster the circuit, the better the Mercedes was going to fare. Anything twisty and nothing had an answer whatsoever for that Alfa Romeo. Yes, it is a little bit down in terms of straight line speed over the competition. However, it drives so bloody nicely. It really, really does, compared to everything else here. I mean, this is the rear-wheel drive car. The Cadillac did very well. I've got to give credit where credit is due. That Cadillac was actually mighty, mighty fast. But yeah, the Alfa rear-wheel drive car never really had any problems battling with the all-wheel drive stuff. It just had so much grip and so much traction. It was a hell of a vehicle. I thoroughly enjoy driving it. And yeah, it would be my favourite of the Super Saloons. Don't get me wrong, I love the Rs6, and in terms of real-world practicality, fast estate car, very, very fun. In this challenge, sadly, didn't quite fare as well as I might have liked, but yeah, there we go. That is it. Technically speaking, the E63 probably the best overall, but the Giulia is the one you'd want to be driving. So there we go. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.